can't believe it's already time to be thinking about all this.
Howlin' Wolf, whose legendary guitarist, Hubert Sumlin, is at Antone's this week. We'll have your tickets.
Being able to buy a beautiful new home on the internet, and then to move in without that interminable wait.
Already underway, but it's not so far along that you can't make those important selections. Find great choices from 1,800 to over 3,000. There's no simpler way to complete selection. Plus today.
Class reunion. 19.
I told her, I ain't so sure about this place. It's hard to play a gig in this town and keep a straight face.
Now I have to do this.
And the great Joe Walker.
Willie's and got a freaking copy of The Slug Man. And I'm freaking out. Kirk-O-Matic update. I guess it has to happen now. Oh, I love it. I think it's great. But now you've forced me into a corner. I have to make Forced Exit 2000. So when's that going to happen, dude? I'm shooting it right now.
Tonight clear.
He's trying to get together some other film tech people so he can shoot his movie. I don't know.
I thought you said it was okay to fish in there.
What happened?
You known how many fish we had pulled out of there.
Oh, man. Well, you know what? I guess you're lucky you got away them others.
Did you know when we were there, we had a guy who got his car towed, and he was staying in the hotel, and he went in to eat there, and his car was towed, and he had to be at the airport.
A speed trap or something. I might actually do that to like have me go slow. Like I look and I go 35. Okay, I've got to go 35 miles an hour.
Enough of all that bullshit. I gotta tell you what the hell happened to me over New Year's Eve.
Yeah, I see that Band-Aid on your finger.
This son of a bitch, we're brawling, and the guy manages to just bite my finger. That's all he can do. I'm on top of him, and he bites through the fingernail into the skin, and it's bleeding and everything.
Because I am the Reverend Brother Mingo, here to help you. Let me take a quick jigger so that I can save you from...
We cannot assume that we can know. You just can't. You haven't had that experience. You don't have those...
Out of gas. Instead of running out of gas, and you're driving as slow as possible. It's a highway. Why are you driving 45 fucking miles an hour? I hope they rise up. I hope they rise up and eat your guts.
It's like, I'm gonna have to call you back, and he hung up, and it just kind of started in the living room, out of nowhere, and it was a bit bizarre, because I'm kind of more traditional, but, you know, I could handle it. It was fun.
Oh, okay. Traditional, I see.
Well, you know what I mean.
Missionary.
Well, not necessarily that, but in the bed rather than on the floor of the living room.
Oh, well, that's always, you know, the wild times are always the ones to remember, so.
Experimentation's good.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. You know, it's a lame out, it's a cop out, and it's bullshit. You're not too busy to dee. Hey, how's it going? Hey, cool, take it easy, man. What? What? Oh, 5 minutes?
Dan, can you see that big green tree where the water's running free and it's waiting there for you and me? Water.
1910. 1910.
1910.
That's wonderful.
And at that time, you know, the roads were dirt and the travel was by horse and buggy.
Wow.
Automobiles were really scarce. They had.
The point you got to understand is that you little people have dropped the ball some time ago, and you're just kind of in the way now, and your leadership stuff you look for in your elected officials. Well, that's kind of a joke.
Listen, if you don't drive it and everything, they tell you have to, they send a wrecker, tow it off, even though you pay taxes on it and all this. So, you know, why shouldn't you be free?
Oh, yeah. You took him out of Lake Travis.
No, I didn't take him out of Lake Travis.
Yeah, you stole him.
Damn good eating, that's right.
So what are you doing with your chickens?
Well, they're growing.
I know, but frying them or eggs?
Well, we're going to eat them.
I'm not eating chicken at your barbecue, thank you.
Fresh chicken.
I am, but, you know, it does kind of like, I don't really hang around with as many people because of it, really. Because, I mean, you know, that's just not my kind of atmosphere and stuff. But I think it's, you know, just hard to know who your truest friends are, the people you...
Anyway, so that was kind of growing up, that was kind of the way it went. We lived in a little town called Blewett, Texas. We literally had deer in our backyard. We'd wake up in the wintertime, we'd have deer, and of course along with the deer came snakes and spiders, which I detest. I remember one time, it was in the summertime, and we were sitting outside, we had a tree, a gigantic spider coming at us, and it was a tarantula, and she was going, oh, the Lord brought me out here just in time to save my children, to warn them about the spider. So that's what... Gracias, mi amor.
I called my friend Yoda. I'm like, Yoda, I cannot do this. I cannot throw this carcass on this woman. I found her in New York City. I cannot throw a carcass. And she's like, don't worry, you don't have to do it. Because we were both, you know, both very animal rights people and supportive of animal causes, but realized that sometimes, you know, well, anyhow, it's a whole nother argument, but she was very supportive of me. She was like, well, you do not have to do that. I mean, why should I have to throw a carcass on somebody to keep my job, right?
And you can honky talk and text on the company play.
Sprint PCS.
Harry and I are here, and we were buying 24 tickets. We are here representing basically the Ain't It Cool News staff.
Yeah, that's great.
And our regular contributors. From several of the people who are not going to actually be buying tickets actually spent the night last night and stuff like that because they got line fever, called them.
He was reading this book about Don Juan called Don Juan, A Yaqui Way to Knowledge, and it was about the teachings of this bumbling fool who went down to Mexico to find this Yaqui Indian sorcerer, this magic man who would tell him about the truth of the universe. And he would ask him these stupid questions, and then Don Juan would put him through all of these tests and everything. It was pretty interesting. To become a man of knowledge, there was 4 characteristics. You had to defeat the 4 natural enemies. First one was fear. You had to defeat fear, and with that came clarity. With clarity, you would then achieve power. And once you achieve power, the only other enemy to defeat in the physiological realm, in the phenomenological realm, was old age.
Sitting at Cafe Lago, and I'm telling Sissy, I went, man, everybody drives BMWs now. And she goes, yeah, it used to be everybody would drive Lincoln Continentals. You know how I used to be hung up on those. So, I'd been thinking about a guy for about 2 months, you know, and I was going, well, what kind of guy do I want? You know, because things were really going rotten, you know, down the tubes fast with Toad, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. It was a setup. I think it was a conspiracy. With a spot on it. What did she possibly want to achieve from that other than doing what she did? Monica, why? Why didn't you clean the dress?
Where shall I start? Well, I got married roughly 7 years ago and kind of went downhill from there. I played Mr. Mom, built my house, and raised the kids at the same time. And come about 6 years into the marriage, the woman gets a little itchy feet. We have a 4- and a 6-year-old daughter, and she says, well, she just doesn't feel the same about me. And so she's gonna spread her wings and fly.